From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Emily Bloom. Thank you for joining us. Much of our state dealt with record heat this summer. Tonight, we take a look at the stories surrounding those scorching conditions.
Looking ahead this week, we might be seeing near normal temperatures, but it's only a break from the record high temperatures we've been hitting and setting through the better part of this summer. One ASU scientist is taking a look at how the heat gets trapped in urban areas. Emily Bloom shows us what he's studying and how it could impact weather forecasting.
Well, one ASU student is researching our urban heat island with hopes of a slightly cooler future.
Peter Crank, a PhD student at ASU, describes to us exactly how it feels to be researching the urban heat through our Phoenix summer.
Our goal with this research is to help us better understand the relationship here in Phoenix specifically between the surface temperatures in the urban areas and the air temperature.
Through this, he is hoping to better understand how urban heat flows, how all factors relate to each other, and the magnitude of each.
If all goes well, we will understand the relationships between the different aspects of urban areas, buildings, energy consumption, cars, people.
And part of the data collection included taking to the skies for thermal imagery data.
We could see that there are major issues with the way that we are designing our cities, and that if we were to redesign and restructure, that would have a drastic impact.
This will hopefully help us create a way to live in the desert that is a bit more comfortable, sustainable, and affordable as our city continues to grow.
It may be that we find that no one change that we could make in the urban area is going to have much of an impact. But if we make small changes across a variety of different factors, that collectively they could result in a significant change for the urban heat island.
Mary Wright, who studies biometeorology as it affects humans, helped collect data.
I think it's important that we just better understand what's going on with all that so that we can address it and make some changes.
And as soon as they have a better understanding, they look forward to teaching others.
The best thing about this is simply the ability to understand the environment around us, to better understand how the atmosphere, nature, all of that work together, and how we as humans are a piece of that. We're not disconnected necessarily from that, but we are an integral part of it.
Working to clean up all of the data and is hoping to present some of it this November. If all goes as planned, he will conduct the same research on a much bigger scale next summer.
Tonight there are heat advisories for much of the state. Imagine if your central air goes out, and to make it worse, you do not have the resources or the income to fix it. Cronkite News reporter Patricio Espinosa shows us there are programs to help, but they're in need of desperate funds.
This is a thermostat. They just put it 2 years ago. But right now, the thermostat is 88 degrees, and I set it at 80, but right now it's 88. And by tonight, it's going to be like 98 or 96.
With 100 degrees and more average temperatures this week, Socorro Carvajal has no idea how she may be able to fix her central air not working now for days. And now, the bad news.
So it has to have a new compressor?
Yeah. And that means 76-year-old Socorro on a fixed Social Security income will now need several $1,000s to pay for her new system. Maricopa County, Phoenix, and the city of Mesa have programs that help. The wait list is long and the funds are limited. Katie Martin helps lead a new pilot program in Arizona intended to help repair or replace air conditioning systems.
50% of those that we've served already are elderly or disabled. We had an elderly woman in Mesa who had no air conditioning.
But as much as they tried, the pilot program has so far only been able to help 4 families, and the summer has just begun. At about 117 degrees right now, you can feel the heat coming out of the compressor. And these units are only supposed to work up to 95 degrees, and with the weather the way it is these days, there's no question about it. The calls for help will keep coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Calls like the one Socorro Carvajal has been making the last couple of days, but so far, not help. And so for now, all she can do is wait and somehow stay cool. Miss Socorro, when I came in, you have this towel around you. Can you show me that? Show me what is it for?
It's wet, and I keep it wet to keep me cool. I cut one towel, and then I have another towel that I put in my torso, so I can be cool because the air cools it off, but it dries it real fast too, you know. So.
In Phoenix, Patricio Espinosa, Cronkite News.
And tonight there's a way you can take action and help. This not-for-profit pilot program is in need of donations, and you can visit the Arizona Community Action Association website at azcaa.org to make a contribution.
And last week we introduced you to Socorro Carvajal, a 76-year-old woman on a fixed income. Her central air conditioning broke down right as temperatures reached almost 120 degrees. She was hoping for help from a local nonprofit group, but today a viewer who watched the story stepped up to help.
That's just the end of the life of the compressor.
So it has to have a new compressor?
Yeah.
And that is how we last left Socorro Carvajal, in need of a new compressor and an estimate of more than $2,000 for air conditioning repairs. But today, things changed. Hi, is this Dave?
I told the gentleman that's standing there next to you that I will pay $1,000 toward fixing your air conditioner.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I'm glad that I'm able to help you, and I hope they get your air conditioner going today and that you're going to be comfortable.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My
You
dearest
have a wonderful
thank
day.
yous.
Miss Socorro, how does that make you feel?
I feel like crying, but I'm holding it there.
You just enjoy your day, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to help you.
But there is more. The owner of the company making the repairs also wanted to help.
So all the work today will be pro bono at no charge to you.
Oh my God.
Gentlemen, explain to me.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Gentlemen, explain to me a little bit your situation today. We decided to step up and do the right thing.
And finally, what really mattered.
I didn't think they were going to do it this fast either.
Huh?
Oh my God, yes. It's really coming through.
How does that feel?
Oh, great. Oh, thank God.
And after a heavy discount from a local contractor and the help of our viewer, Socorro Carvajal had only $450 out of pocket, which will get her through the summer.
Today will be the 11th day in a row with temperatures above 110 degrees. And while you or I may complain about walking to our cars, there is a crew out there who are often working in the heat in much worse conditions.
Make sure we hydrate it before we get to shift, drink water through the shift.
While keeping hydrated might seem obvious, it's not always possible for this group. Prior to becoming captain at Station 30, Buddy DeCosmo worked at Station 12, which serves our Valley Mountains.
Not very uncommon to have 2 or 3 rescues in one day where we're hiking either Camelback Mountain, Squaw Peak.
And in the summer months, they could have multiple trucks on these calls.
So you'll have anywhere from 12 to 20 guys trying to rescue one person.
A reminder that when we take chances in the heat,
there's been multiple times that, firefighters got injured making a mountain rescue.
We are putting others at risk also.
Your adrenaline starts to get pumping.
At up to 70 pounds, these turnouts are built to keep the heat out, but as a result, their bodies aren't able to cool down.
Get to the fire, and then it becomes a lot of physical work. We're pulling hoses, forcing entry, so we're working pretty hard. Then you're inside where the temperatures could be up to 1,200 degrees, and we're fighting fire, and it's pretty taxing on you.
To help handle these conditions, they have a rehabilitation truck that runs through the summer months.
They're dispatched out on any house fire, some of the mountain rescues. Basically, they're stocked with everything we need to hydrate with, water, Gatorade. They have cooling fans.
To rehydrate and cool firefighters while in between rotations. But fires and mountain rescues aren't the only challenges these firefighters face.
Somebody on the street, might have underestimated the temperatures, trying to walk from the house to the grocery store. They're not drinking any water. Next thing you know, they're dizzy. Just be safe out there. We love to serve the public, but try to take care of yourself so you don't have to see us.
While at the mountain this morning, I actually ran into a couple of firefighters who are there training on their day off. It's a commitment for the men and women in this profession, especially at this time of year. Safety on the road is a big concern in Arizona. Every year, roads are shut down in the state as dust storms roll through, cutting visibility. Cronkite News reporter Tyler Finger is in our broadcast center with how the Arizona Department of Transportation is hoping to revolutionize dust detection. Tyler?
Emily, it's been an ongoing project for ADOT as they try to figure out the best way to handle dust storms. But by 2019, a detection system will be in place on a part of I-10 between Phoenix and Tucson that should give ADOT and the Department of Public Safety the early warning they need to save lives.
We were traveling through the dust area.
Even for an experienced DPS trooper, this can be dangerous.
I'm down to about 15 miles an hour. I can barely see.
In an instant, visibility can drop to zero. A dust storm is to blame for a crash along the Arizona-New Mexico border earlier this month, a 25-car pileup that killed 6.
Dust storms happen quickly without very much warning. Sometimes we can anticipate them, but a lot of the times we can't.
That's a problem ADOT has been trying to fix. By the end of the year, installation on a first-of-its-kind dust detection system will start.
It's a very coordinated system that we'll be using along with DPS and with the National Weather Service so that we can get information to drivers so that they can make the right decisions and be safe on the roadway.
Here's how it works. A combination of cameras and sensors will monitor the road and the desert on either side of it. If something is spotted, overhead monitors will warn drivers, and speed limits will be lowered in the area. At that point, ADOT's Traffic Operations Center in Phoenix will be monitoring the situation.
The operators that you see behind me will be notified right away. They can then look at our cameras in that area, see what the situation is, and if they need to make adjustments, they can do that.
While it's still a few years away from going into operation, DPS is hopeful the technology will help.
ADOT will be able to receive information from their sensors. They'll be able to send us that information right away, and we will be able to deploy a trooper right away. And so the quicker we can get there, obviously, the better it is.
As of now, the system will be installed over the next 2 years on a 10-mile stretch of I-10 between the Eloy area and Picacho Peak. If it goes well, it could be expanded to other problem areas in the state. In the broadcast center, Tyler Finger, Cronkite News.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
Hot weather, worn tires, empty gas tank. All conditions that can leave you stranded on the side of the freeway. Dangerous for you and for others on the road. That's why the Arizona Department of Public Safety created a program to help. I had the chance to see what this program really does for the public.
With the help of AAA, the Roadside Motorist Assistance Program, or RMA, was created. Although they are not law enforcement agents, these civilians are specialized to assist in any way they can.
We assist people that are broke down on the freeways. We assist with accidents, help the troopers at times. Anybody that's stranded on the freeway, we assist them and help them get back on the freeway and to their destination.
Crews patrol the highways equipped with drinking water, gasoline, tools, and plenty of other necessities in order to get you safely on your way. The problem they see most frequently? Blowouts. With the extreme heat, their jobs become a little bit harder, but they push through.
My main concern when I get out with someone is their safety.
While this program is here to help you, there are also things you can do to keep yourself from getting stranded in the first place, like replacing worn tires and keeping more than a quarter of gas in your tank.
In 2016, RMA successfully assisted 92,982 stranded motorists. If you become stranded or see someone stranded on a highway, you can call 911 to report it to Arizona DPS.
We are looking at a 20 to 30% chance for some of that monsoon weather this afternoon and this evening. We're about to hear why some are skeptical that this will actually develop following all the activity that we saw yesterday. But first, let's talk about these temperatures. We are currently looking at a high of 98 degrees, excuse me. It has been a while since we have dropped below that triple-digit mark. Our humidity is sitting at right about 34%. We are below our average on this day of 106 degrees. And across the state, we are looking at 106 in Lake Havasu, 71 at the Grand Canyon, and 76 down in Tucson. We'll talk more about those monsoon chances for the rest of the week in just a few minutes. But first, I spoke to a local meteorologist this morning. He took advantage of all Mother Nature had to offer over the weekend, but last night it really paid off.
When you're out chasing, you know, there's always going to be highs and lows.
And Brian Snyder would know. He has been chasing storms here in Phoenix for years.
I'd say the low yesterday was driving down to Marana, you know, and watching what looked like a really pretty storm, you know, dissipate as soon as I got there.
But despite that,
when I came home last night, I knew I had caught something special.
He was able to reposition and caught a microburst right outside of Coolidge.
To me, seeing that storm, hearing that storm, and seeing how long it lasted, I think was definitely the high point of the night.
And most importantly, Snyder's guess for the predicted monsoon weather tonight?
You know, I'm not so sure about today.
He says typically after a big weather event like last night, it can take the atmosphere some time to recharge, so to speak. However,
sometimes the monsoon will just throw you a curveball, and when you think you're inside watching a movie, next thing you know, a big storm pops up over your house, and you grab your bags and you're out the door again.
And as for the week ahead,
it seems like it's just gonna hang out here for a while, so that's a good thing.
Snyder says the success he found last night reignited the fire within him, reminding him why he does this.
Well, with his optimism for the storms in the week ahead, we certainly look forward to what else he may capture. In Phoenix, I'm Emily Bloom for Cronkite News.
Staying cool is important in the summer, but there are always ways to have fun at the same time.
Our weather reporter Emily Bloom found ways for Valley residents to beat the heat this summer.
Surviving the Phoenix summer can be a challenge, so we came up with a few ways you can either embrace the heat or escape it altogether.
2 in a row. Oh yeah.
If anyone knows how to handle these blazing temperatures, we're thinking it's a Girl Scout.
Going into the pool or drinking cold water.
At their new Arizona Cactus Pine facility at the base of South Mountain, these girls are keeping cool in the pool in ways beyond just learning new swim strokes.
We're going to put like a screen over it, and we're going to watch a movie in the pool.
They're hoping for Finding Nemo. Now, if you're not quite old enough to be a Girl Scout,
we have over 130 days of summer fun.
Here at Wet and Wild, there's thousands of gallons of water to keep you cool.
And there's something for everyone, every age, every interest here at Wet and Wild Phoenix.
Caden Ramirez describes just one of his favorite parts of Wet and Wild.
You get in a tube and then it floats and you be lazy.
But he warns us.
If you close your eyes, you're not going to be expecting it.
And if you'd rather escape from the scorching temps altogether,
it's got 30,000 pounds of ice in the freezer. It's 23 degrees.
The new Polar Play exhibit at the Odyssey Entertainment District is Arizona's first ice bar.
And tons of awesome, great ice sculptures in there for you to take pictures with as well.
And if you're looking for a little friendly competition,
they've got that too. In addition to this, the Boys and Girls Club of Phoenix and the Y are also offering some great summer programs to escape the heat. For more information, head to our website at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
The entire state is under either a heat advisory or excessive heat warning. All of this happening on the final full day of spring. Today, I got a look inside APS's Operations Center and trading floor, where they're monitoring this heat. Today in Phoenix, as the temperature went up, so did energy consumption.
My folks behind us right here will be ordering our power plants online and stages all the way out throughout today in order to get ready for that estimated peak customer demand at around 5:30 tonight.
On APS's trading floor in Phoenix, where they buy and sell energy to other power companies and control when their power plants come online, it's crunch time.
We're thinking our customers could use more power tomorrow and Wednesday than we've ever seen our customers demand before.
At the Distribution Operations Center, staffers are monitoring the grid around the state 24/7 to make sure their more than 1.2 million customers have electricity when they need it.
The grid has responded well, and in the limited cases where we have had system issues, our teams have responded, they've been dispatched, they've gone out, been able to troubleshoot.
Back on APS's trading floor, they've been looking at this summer for years.
We're forecasting 15 years in advance to be able to plan for and put the power plants in place to be able to meet a customer demand. And this is kind of in line with what our expectations were.
And while the heat wave is packing quite the punch, APS says they are ready.
American Airlines has canceled more flights today as the deadly heat wave continues to bake the state. Cronkite News reporter Tyler Finger is at the Sky Harbor Airport tonight with more.
We know these temperatures can be dangerous for us, but for a day like today when we're expecting the hottest temperatures of the year, some flights at Sky Harbor have been called off. Today in Phoenix, as the temperature soared, some planes weren't.
We're worried a little bit about the weather. It's at 120 degrees today. I know as an ex-pilot that you don't fly in hot weather very well.
American Airlines making the call to cancel more than 40 flights today that were scheduled to be flown on their smaller regional jets because the maximum operating temperature set by the plane's manufacturer is 118 degrees for those aircraft types. At Sky Harbor today, passengers were hoping their flight wasn't next.
I'd like to get back because I have to go back to work, but I'm leaving at 12:10, so I'm hoping that it won't be an issue.
The airline has been warning all passengers coming through Sky Harbor since Saturday that delays and cancellations were likely.
Had to pick the hottest day to try to fly out of Arizona, but I'm not concerned. I think they know what they're doing, and if there was any danger, that we'd know about it.
American Airlines says they expect today to be their worst in terms of cancellations and delays. As of now, there are none scheduled for tomorrow. Here at Phoenix Sky Harbor, the temperature is just below 120, but when you factor in the temperature on the ground, it's well above that. At Phoenix Sky Harbor, Tyler Finger, Cronkite News.
As we face record-breaking temperatures today, it's almost impossible to ignore the reality that something is changing in our climate. I had the opportunity to sit down with some experts in our area and talk about the weather we are seeing today and what that means for our future.
You know, these are very high temperatures. There's going to be deadly heat that's coming. Unfortunately, people will die with this heat wave. There's a lot of vulnerable populations out there.
The temperatures we are feeling today, extreme even for the desert Southwest.
We can have two signals that are in there that help give us our increasingly higher and higher temperatures.
And recent research shows it's not getting any better. A recent report by Climate Central and the Weather Channel predicting 130-degree temps by the end of the century.
I'm not going to say that it's impossible, but I think it's extremely unlikely.
Inigeth says it is more likely we will see a broadening of our heat season.
So all the signals we're seeing for the warming, they're the two primary drivers that we're going to be seeing for that weather. It's warmer record overnight low temperatures or the expansion of the heat season. So those two primary signals we're seeing, the urbanization, that urban heat island, and also the background regional climate change that's taking place.
ASU grad student Kayla DeVault, who studies renewable and sustainable energy and attended the United Nations Climate Change Conference last year, is also concerned about urbanization.
A lot of unintelligent infrastructure. And I think part of that population boom meant more infrastructure, it meant more heat retaining materials that creates the urban heat island. And it also means more cars, more pollution, more use of water.
The urbanization is going to be the larger contributor here in Phoenix to more record high temperatures as opposed to the regional climate change.
David Hondula with ASU School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning studies the effect of heat on our health.
And in many places for which data are available, heat-related deaths are on the decline.
What is unclear at this point is whether that is attributed to more access to the AC, a general increase in life expectancy, or an adaptation to the heat. And as for our future,
that's where a lot of our work focuses on, improving our forecast, and then how do we better get that information out to our partners, who in turn will act on that information to help mitigate the impacts from the extreme heat.
Hondula says researchers are studying this current heat wave, and it will help us learn a lot more about the impact that this kind of heat has on our health.
With these hot summer temperatures, it can be tough to find a cool place outside, but adding some green can help. Cronkite News reporter Tyler Fingert shows us a nonprofit that is hoping to do just that.
The Nature Conservancy in Arizona, with the help of a nearly $125,000 grant from the Vitalist Health Foundation, hopes to cool hot neighborhoods in the valley using a variety of techniques, most notably plants. At a church in downtown Phoenix, a landscaping design has been providing an oasis to the area for years. Now, the Nature Conservancy of Arizona is hoping to replicate that on a larger scale.
If we scale this up and if we multiply the benefits, then we can have an even greater impact on the health of people.
Utilizing green space, shade awnings, and of course trees, the goal is to cool valley neighborhoods using a mostly natural approach, and it can even help improve the health of the residents.
Illnesses are exacerbated by heat, so a lot of those hospitalizations occur in areas where there is no vegetation and these kind of concrete jungles.
It's about 11 o'clock and the temperature outside is about 101 degrees, but on the pavement in the sun, it's reading 140. But when you walk into the shade, the temperature drops to about 105, a huge difference.
We're actually getting a cooler surface temperature here, and by some estimates, that's anywhere from 20 to 45 degrees cooler, the actual surface temperature, thanks to the shade of a tree.
A mostly natural approach with hopes of solving a bigger problem.
Our ultimate goal is really creating a mechanism for healthier community design.
The grant money could fund vegetation in 3 neighborhoods. The Nature Conservancy is still determining those locations.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.